Hello again, everyone. Good afternoon to you. So, when it comes to voting for anything, anyone in any position, since the judicial system appreciates while booking in so said criminals innocent until proven guilty, so I'm not sure why people are being mishandled before they're arrested, being killed, being brutalized, or any of the above. Since law enforcement is nothing more than law enforcement and should not be able to inflict injury on anyone under any circumstances, and all prejudice should be obsolete in doing the work of a service worker, civil service worker. So it's beyond me why people are being seen in the courtroom, live on courtroom camera, being beat up and having injuries on them, or being seen being brutalized while in the custody of the jail. The jail is not the courthouse, and so therefore they are innocent until proven guilty, not by the jailhouse, but by the courtroom. So all of that's going to end. Yeah. We're going to fix the brutality on the street towards civilians, and they are not allowed to be injured before they are seen in court. If they are seen in court with injuries, those injuries are going to be taken into consideration as to how much time that individual will spend in jail with the sentence that they are given. Excuse me. We're going to navigate the system in a way where if a police officer is brutalizing a civilian and that civilian is seen whether in the jailhouse or in the courthouse injured, then that police officer will have assault charges brought up on them. There's no reason for it. If there is no reason for a police officer to be injured in the event of an arrest, why should the civilian be injured in the event of an arrest? And you police officers are wondering why people are holding firearms. They're holding them for you. They're holding them for you and who you don't protect them from. So in reality, the civilians ought to be arresting the police officers. Yeah, it's called a civilian's arrest. Yes, you can arrest a police officer where he stands. And so if you run into any details where the police officer is wrongfully trying to arrest you, you are to bring up civilian charges on that officer. And you are to file those charges on that officer when you get into the jail, and you let them know. Do not be intimidated. Do not let them say anything to you other than, here's the paperwork for your report. You are to get 2 copies of that report. You are to get one for your own personal care. The jail, of course, will take theirs. And the other one is to be turned over to the attorney. You are to keep the original copy of all paperwork. You give businesses the copies of your originals. You don't give the business your original paperwork. Now, many courthouses across the country will not accept copies into their files and records. So if you have files and records on you in the jailhouse, they have the originals. They have the original paperwork. So, while we're talking about this, as far as voting goes, the way that they take you in is they fingerprint you. Well, that's how a vote should go. It should be a person's fingerprint only, and to who it is they're voting for only. What is all of the other logistics important for? People's names, addresses, blah, blah this, blah, blah that. All you need is a vote. If you can give a verbal vote, excuse me, without signing any paperwork, certainly you can give a fingerprint vote. Yeah, just give a fingerprint vote. Everybody has fingerprints, right? Okay, let's just say everybody doesn't have a fingerprint. Everyone has a palm print? Okay, everyone doesn't have a palm print. Everyone has a footprint. Everyone doesn't have a footprint? Okay, so then there's DNA, right? Take your vote by DNA if you can't get a fingerprint. Excuse me. People will remember who they voted for if you're swabbing their mouth, right? You want to know who's voting for who? You want to collect genocide information on people? The DNA is a great way to do it. There's no mistaking, excuse me, in talking to somebody about who they had voted for with their DNA and or fingerprint, right? Yeah. So when you sign into a workplace, right, and you are filling out the application, I don't encourage anyone to vote. But if you people are going to be voting, make sure your vote is already on your paperwork. Make sure your vote is already on your paperwork coming in the door. Back yourself up on records. Know who you voted for. Leave a trail of who you would vote for on your paperwork for that time frame that that individual is serving. If they serve 2 terms, then ask for an extension on the paperwork and it stays the same. See, they're complicating it for you, but you can simplify it for them. It's up to you all.